What's up, movie viewers? Dena Views and Reviews here, asking what you watching. Well, today I am watching Who is Erin Carter, starring Evan Ahmad, Indica Watson, Sean Teely, Denise Goff, Charlotte Veg, and Daniel Lang. It is written by Jack Lothian, directed by Ashley Way, Savina Delacour, and Bill Eagles. It is produced by Jordy Barringer, Donovan Roberts Baxter, Grace Blackett, Rupert Bray, Tabitha Jenkins, Rob Bullock, Claire Davis Bell, Andy Harris, Jack Lothian, and Nuala O'Leary. Now, Erin Carter is a new 7-part drama that focuses on what appears to be a typical woman. She is a British expat. Again, her name is Erin Carter, and she's a wife, a mother, and a teacher living in Barcelona. Now, in the opening scene of this movie, Erin and her daughter Harper are laying in a bed together, and the clock is showing 4:59. When it turns to 5, she gets out of the bed and begins to get dressed. She's trying to convince the little girl Harper to get her shoes on as well. And it is only when she convinces her that they are going on an adventure, then they both are seen boarding a boat. But noticeably, Erin is looking backwards as if she was expecting someone to follow them. Now, the movie then excels to 5 years later. The child has grown up a bit, and Erin is a substitute teacher at a school, and they are in an auditorium. And Harper is on stage rehearsing with other students for a school play. Now, a commotion of sorts starts on the stage. It breaks out. So Erin sees it, and she runs to see what is going on with the children. And Harper is fighting with a boy in her class who was teasing her. Don't know if I can classify it as a real fight, because Harper is the one actually cursing and punching the little boy. Now, after Erin retrieves her daughter, they are headed home in the car, and she's trying to speak with Harper about the incident, but Harper doesn't want to speak about what occurred that caused her to get upset and beat him up. So, as they're driving, her daughter tells her that she needs to use the restroom. They stop at a grocery store, a store that is about to close. In fact, they are told by one of the employees that they only have 5 minutes before the store closes, so they go into the restroom. But as they are walking out of the bathroom, through the grocery store from the back to the front, Erin notices that there is a basket of food on the floor, if someone dropped it and ran or something. Then she walks further towards the front, and she notices that the store is being robbed. There are actually people in there with guns and masks on that have the store employees on the floor, and they are being held at gunpoint. She rushes back to try and go out the back with her daughter, and then she runs into this another assailant, but she tries to hide her daughter away. He has a gun. The assailant doesn't see her and her daughter at that point, but he has another store employee that he has a gun to, that he eventually begins to brutally beat. So she quickly hides her daughter under an orange stand, and she herself hides behind one of the shelves, and she's watching what is going on so she can get the opportunity to leave. But what happens is Harper is afraid, so she's kind of shaking underneath that little orange stand, and one of the oranges fall off, and it rolls towards the gunman, and he observes where it came from, the masked gunman. So he's pointing his gun, and he's walking toward where this child is hiding. So her mother tries to throw out a canned good or something to distract him, but it doesn't work. So her and the robber, they start battling, and she and the robber are fighting for control of this gun. And as usual in most movies, they're fighting, then they're on the ground, and somebody gets shot, and you don't know who it is, but then eventually you find out that it was the robber who was shot. But Erin tries to help him, and so she's trying to stop him from bleeding, and she's saying, call the ambulance, and she takes his mask off, and the robber recognizes her. She is surprised, so she's standing over him, and he says, "It's you." At that point, Erin tries to save his life and screams for an ambulance. But from this moment on, it is evident that um, Evan has many secrets that even her husband is not aware of. Those secrets have come back to haunt her from this very day in the grocery store, and all her at that point, her tranquil life is turned upside down, inside out, and her main concern becomes protecting her husband and her child from these people who are coming back from her past. Whatever her secret is coming back to haunt her. Evan tries hard not to attract any attention to herself, but the police get involved because this drew attention from everyone in the community. And the police get involved, and there is more and more danger and violence that is coming from her. There are all kind of ruthless, shady characters coming out of the woodwork. They're coming after Erin. So Erin is trying not to attract attention and keep herself out of the spotlight, but she keeps finding herself in some of the most odd and most dangerous situations and accumulating a high body count. There are a lot of dead bodies because a lot of people get killed and shot around her along the way. This is a movie that is full of mystery. This woman, Erin, is constantly fighting. She's being beaten, she's being slapped, thrown around. And although she possesses what is described as lethal defense skills, this poor woman was always in a brawl. And this is why I gave this movie a 3 out of 5, perhaps even a 3.5 out of 5. But this poor lady Erin Carter, she was constantly finding herself in physical skirmishes. And there were people popping up from everywhere trying to dispatch her. People trying to stab her, people shooting at her and attempting to eradicate her and her family as well. And of course, some of the situations and fight scenes was just not realistic for me. I know some of the punches to her gut, and smashing her, lifting her and throwing her on the floor and into the walls. Some of those just would have been lethal, I'm sure. Even so, it was an interesting movie overall. It is full of drama. There's mystery and even a plot twist that some things just were not so believable to me, especially when you see an 80-pound lady whipping butt and taking down people 2 times, maybe 3 times her size. It still managed to keep my attention, but it was hard to believe that some of the situations that she found herself in and how difficult it would be realistically to explain the circumstances away. Like, lady, people just keep coming up dead around you. There's bodies. So even though it was it started out like a sort of slow pace initially, sorting out the details as to who she really was and then why so many brutes from her past were trying to kill her and her family. I mean, it started out slow, but it kind of increased as it went on. It kept you waiting to see what would come of it. Some of the fight scenes really do beckons back to Buffy the Vampire Slayer fight scenes. And even after discovering who she actually was or who she is, it still left me with many still unanswered questions. So maybe there's a part 2, I don't know. But Who is Erin Carter is rated TVMA, and if you would like to check this movie out, you most certainly can, because it is now streaming on Netflix. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe and leave me your comments on this movie. This has been Dena Views and Reviews. Join me for my next movie review and our recommendation. And I want you to remember, it's my view. Now, what you watching?